my name is Philippa Langley. This short series of films has been done in celebration of the first 100 years of research, the centenary of the Richard III Society. It is one of the oldest and largest historical societies in the world. We hope that you enjoy them. Thank you. Even while the Richard III Society celebrates its first 100 years, the misinformation and false traditions about Richard III continue to be spread. The accusation that he ordered the murder of the princes in the Tower is the thing most widely known about Richard III, and for many people, the only thing they know. But it is nothing more than an accusation. There is no evidence that the princes died in the Tower, or even that they died during Richard's reign. It is true that they disappeared from public view, so we'd better explain why. But first of all, we should forget the story dramatised by Shakespeare that they were smothered in their beds. Even the person who wrote it during the reign of Henry VIII admitted it was only one of several different stories he'd heard. There's absolutely nothing that backs up this myth. What happened was that in 1483, when King Edward IV died, his 12-year-old son, Edward V, was due to inherit the crown. So he came to London and, in line with age-old tradition, took up residence in the royal lodgings at London's principal palace, the Tower. His younger brother Richard joined him to await the coronation. Then the King's Council heard testimony from one of its members that the late King's marriage to their mother had not been lawful. It was well known that he'd married her secretly, though nobody knew why. Now it was testified by Bishop Stillington that the King was already married to a living wife when he wed her. The website of the Richard III Society goes into all of these details, so we recommend you to check the FAQs there. The upshot of the revelation of the late King's bigamy was that his children by that marriage were illegitimate and were declared so by the King's Council and Parliament. Richard was the next legitimate heir in the royal Plantagenet line, so they chose him. In fact, they elected him to succeed his brother as king. So what concerns us here is that the Queen's family refused to accept the changed situation and went about mounting dissent against Richard. Others joined them, and they even linked up with the rebel Henry Tudor abroad and got the Duke of Brittany to prepare a fleet to invade England. Arrests were made for insurrection, and an attempt was later reported to infiltrate the Tower and abduct the princes. It was clearly dangerous to leave them where they were, both for their own safety and to prevent them from being used as rebel figureheads. So this is the logic behind making them disappear. For Richard's part, already crowned king and acclaimed during his royal progress around the realm, he would have gained nothing but revulsion by having them killed, an order which would need to have been given from hundreds of miles away. In fact, if they had been killed at the Tower, the evidence of it would have been leaked out very quickly. The Tower was a major residence manned by several hundred people who worked and lived there, and the princes were its most famous resident. How does it make sense that Henry Tudor, when he became Henry VII 2 years later, couldn't find anyone to say what happened to them? There are many other arguments against the traditional story that they were killed and secretly buried at the Tower. Since the reason for it is supposed to be that they threatened his throne, the secrecy did no good at all. To remove such a threat, it needed to be known publicly that they were dead, and this could have been easily presented as an illness. In summary, there's no evidence that the princes died during Richard's reign, but lots of evidence that his enemies abroad spread rumours saying so, and that this story travelled to England with Henry Tudor and his French foreign invasion force. The story was turned into a drama, as we know, by William Shakespeare. We end with the news that active research is in progress to learn whether the princes lived on into adulthood after having been moved away from their exposed position in London. Recent discoveries have been shown on television and made headlines around the world. So our next video on this channel will explore these findings. So thank you for watching. We hope that these have been helpful. And if you want to find out more about any of these subjects, please visit the Richard III Society website. Thank you.